Greeting Rush Temple family and friends. I want to just greet you on this fabulous Friday and just leave you with a few words as we look at what's going on in this country and all around the world. It's easy for us to give into some negative thoughts. It's easy to lose hope. It's easy for fear to take over. But I want to remind you on this fabulous Friday, faith over fear. We want to remind ourselves that we are more than conquerors and that there's so much more in us if we could just have faith. On this Friday, I would turn your attention to Matthew's Gospel, the 14th chapter starting in verse 24, reading from the NIV version, it says, "But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they were there come into the ship, the wind ceased. Then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, Of a truth, thou art the Son of God. This Friday, I want to just remind you faith over fear, but encourage you to step out of the boat. Here in this text, we find that Peter and the disciples are in the boat, and on the shore, on the water, they see Jesus. They didn't know it was him, but Peter says, If it is you, bid me come. And so Peter makes a unique request. He asks the Lord to bid him to come out in the water. And so I'm challenging us that the Lord is bidding us to come. Got to ask God the right question. That God, help me to step out of the boat. Help me to start something new. Help me go into uncharted territories to do something I've never done before. And the fact is, all of us have a unique request, and we serve a God who is able to answer it. But secondly, we have a unique experience. For all of those that we look at Peter and say, Peter took his eyes off Jesus. Peter got caught up in the noise and the waves. But notice that Peter is the only one who got off the boat. Peter is the only one who can say that I was able to walk on water. And so you might not make it the first time, you might not succeed in everything that you want, but do you trust God enough to take the first step? Do you trust God enough to say, God, I trust you enough to step out on faith, because regardless of what my fears might be, my faith is only in you. So we find that Peter takes a step. He makes this unique request. He has this unique experience that no one else on the boat can have. And so you ought to be careful of how you let what other people say impact you. Folks that never stepped off the boat. But lastly, they've got a unique testimony that they were lost at sea in the midst of a storm, and Jesus came to them, and they knew that it was nobody but the Lord. And many of us have that same testimony that when we look back over our lives, it was some stuff that we went through, could never have brought ourselves out. But while we are in our boat, while we were tossed by the storms of life, it was Jesus who came to us just as we were. And so we can say that in spite of all things, I've got faith over fear. And so on this fabulous Friday, live with faith. Take the first step, try something new, and more importantly, get off the boat and trust God to meet you there.